Hey all, welcome back to Neon's Movie Reviews. I'm Neon and this is my review channel. Today I am going to be talking about the second episode of American Gods, Season 1. I just watched this episode. This, not as strong of an episode as the first one, but still fucking great. Yeah, these just full reaction, so like full spoilers in this. Before I get into that, before I forget, please give this video a like. I really do appreciate it, and definitely share this video if you enjoyed it. We got a lot of content going out right now, so definitely subscribe for more content. But back to American Gods. This is good. So kicks off with the one scene that I had seen, like that introduced me to the show. That all I knew about it, and I was just like, okay, I'm sold. And that's the I forget the character's name, but he's the African spider god, and he basically is talking to the ship full of slaves, telling them, basically what life in for the next like 200-300 years as a black American is going to be for them. As we all know, with especially everything going on right now in the world, has not been very good. So basically, he incites them to rise up. He frees them, or he breaks the chains off of one of them. And tells them to slit the throats of all the men, all the white men on the ship, and burn the ship down. And one of them's just like, well, won't we burn up with the ship? And he's just like, you're already dead anyway. And so they break free, they go do that, and you see the ship burning down into the ground, or into the water, and then you see a little piece of driftwood floating away, and lands on land, or like floats up to land, and you see the little spider, and you just really cool. And then kicks back right into the main storyline. Main character is he is leaving from where we just left off with him, so he is he was just lynched and then saved by something, and he's obviously very confused. So he goes, finds Wednesday. They talk a bit. Wednesday kind of mentions some things about what's going on with his wife and just kind of everything, or his dead wife, and basically just take your time, do what you need to do, but don't. I know the situation around your wife's death and what was in her mouth when she died. Maybe it's maybe it's best to not be upset for too long over this. And understandably, he's not that happy about hearing that, but he had warned him beforehand, and he's just like, all right, fair enough. He actually is just like, thank you for warning me, and then he walks off. But yeah, you have some really good dramatic scenes with him going through his wife's possessions, kind of clearing out the house and everything. He finds his wife's phone, goes through the texts with his buddy, and sees a dick pic in there from him, and now that's all he can see on like any picture with his wife. Like that's all he can see, and it's very well done. We cut back to the sex goddess, whatever she is, and she goes on an eating spree. She there's this quick this like couple minute montage of her just having sex with all these different people, and just eating them all, just swallowing them up in her vagina, and it's the weirdest fucking thing. Not as disturbing this time as was the very first time, but still not really fun to experience. It's very just, what the fuck is going on. But a little bit more is hinted at about her past. I'm bad with a lot of ancient gods and religions, so but there is one of the sex goddesses. She goes and sees the statue of it, and then she looks over, and she's like in a museum, and there's this this old jewelry that was worn by a god, the gods, or the princess or whatever, and she's looking at it, and you get this kind of cool moment where she creates a version of herself out of the material in the case, and you see her like rising up under it, and you see how it would be worn on her, and then she kind of goes back, and then that's it with her. And then we're back to Wednesday and the main guy. There's some hints as to what Wednesday is. I get the feeling that I think he's either Thor or he's Odin. I'm leaning more towards Odin, but I think he picks a dandelion and he like blows it. You see them go up, and like one of them goes up into the like high up into the clouds, and lightning's formed from it. And it's just like, okay, you're a god of thunder. You have control over thunder. Lightning, okay. Okay. And there's been the reason I'm leaning more towards Odin is there's also like, well, there's all the Vikings taking out their eye in the very first episode, and Wednesday, in a lot of the shots, I think even in the first scene where you meet him, he mentions that in one of his eyes he doesn't see that well. But there's this long car ride that they're in together, and to go pick up his hammer in Chicago as well. But yeah, they're driving, and you see his right eye, and it's just like, it's perfectly normal. You can see the white, you can see the pupil, you see it's a normal eye. And this eye, I can't tell if it's a contact or if it's a shadow, or just, he's like closing his eye more, but all you see is the dark. It is very dark, and I started noticing that, and then right after that they do the dandelion thing, and so it was just like, okay, all right. I know in like comics and everything, like in movies, Thor loses the eye, but like no, Odin is the one without the eye. But yeah, so that was really cool. I hope they don't ever just come directly out, because I like not them just playing like these are just living their life. Like, they're not these mythical beings. I mean, they are, but they're not playing them like they're these mythical beings. They're playing them like they're individual people, and that's so interesting seeing that in this. One thing that I really, really enjoy is pretty much the rest of the episode. We get introduced to Peter Stormare's character. I don't know who he is, but he kills cows. He has this hammer, and that's how he made his money when they came to America. You gotta be strong. You gotta hit the cow in just the right spot. You gotta be able to kill it, but kill it painlessly, so you don't spoil the meat. And he goes on this long, awesome talk about that, and then basically how now they've got the cow gun thing, and it was in No Country for Old Men and It Chapter 1, if you're unfamiliar with that. It's the prod thing. and he talks about how when they created that, now anybody can do it, and there's no craft in it anymore. And so he longs for those old days. And then he is living with 3 sisters. You never see one, or at least not in this episode, you don't see her. But the other sister I don't recognize, she just stays very quiet. But there's the main sister. And it's fucking Frau from Young Frankenstein. So like the moment I saw her on screen, I was just like, yes! Because I'm a huge Mel Brooks fan. Young Frankenstein and High Anxiety are probably my 2 favorites of his. And she is a main reason why I love those films so much. So seeing her in this, especially in how comedic of a character that she is, I was so happy. And then to see her play off of Peter Stormare and off of the 2 main characters, was so good. But I forgot. Okay, so there's one part. So Wednesday he sends the main guy off into town to basically go shopping for him, and he's picking up all these gifts for the sisters and for Peter Stormare. Basically all these offerings so that to kind of get in their goodwill, so that they'll be more willing to assist them. And yeah, so he's doing that. He's walking through the aisles and over by the movie or by the TV screens, and I Love Lucy's on. But I notice it's I Love Lucy, but it's not the actual actress. I think it's Lucille Ball. I think that was her name. If that's not her name, I will edit that out. But I think it's Lucille Ball. But yeah, in this, it's not her. It's Gillian Anderson, who is Scully from X-Files, and then she is also in Hannibal. She's in season 2, and I know she's in season 3. Also, Brian Fuller and David Slade. So that was another part where I was just like, yeah, more carryover. Fuck yeah, I love these guys. So that was really cool. She is Lucy. She's I guess she's the god of television. We basically, our phone screens, our computer screens, she's everywhere. Everybody's worshiping her, and everybody's giving her so much time. In fact, while watching her, we now also look at smaller screens to keep us more entertained. So she's the one of the most powerful gods, as she's putting it. And she's basically asking him to work for her. So that was a really cool scene. I'm getting the impression that American Gods is very much the gods of the old world versus the new technological gods, and how those clash. And if I'm right, that sounds fucking awesome. A war between old faith and technology. That's a really fucking cool concept. But so back to the house. So you've got all the characters are there. They finish eating dinner. Peter Stormare and the main guy are kind of going back and forth. Peter Stormare kind of goes on this long story about how he's never really met too many black guys, but back where he was from, everybody was the same color. So your beard color, the shade of your beard, was how you would be prejudiced against one another. If you had a light beard, the lighter beard, you were on the white, you were basically the white, and if you had the darker beard, you were the black. And so he had the darker beard, and so he was and then his brother had the lighter beard. So he's trying to relate to him. He's going on back and forth, or he's going on and on about that. And then he talks about how, like, as you can see, now I'm gray, my brother's gray, so in the end, it doesn't really matter. And it was this really nice moment. And like knowing that he is a god, it was a cool concept to kind of explore how gods would deal with their forms of racism, because it was really weird, because in the beginning of the episode too, it's all about racism. That's how like everything kicked off with the spider god. So I don't know. I don't know if this is just an interesting moment between these characters, or if this is going to be something that is further developed throughout the series. But I'm very intrigued. I'm all on board. But he challenges him to a chess game, or to a game of checkers, and basically he's playing. There's a wager. So the wager is that if he loses, then, or if Peter Stormare loses, then he will go with them, do whatever Wednesday asks, basically. And but if Peter Stormare wins, well then I get to use my hammer on you, and I get to crush your skull in. And he's basically just like, you know what? If this shit's real, if I'm not going insane, and TVs are talking to people and this and that, like there's leprechauns, there's this, there's gods, fuck it. And so he plays him, and it's a long, intense game, and he fucking loses. And then cut to credits. That's the end of the episode. And it was just like, well, fuck me. All right. Yeah. So this episode, I really liked it. I just, I don't know. That first episode was not only a great episode on its own, but it was the hook. It was the one that, like, hey, we gotta really impress you. So I mean, it makes sense why that one's going to be so impressive, because it put so much into it. But this is definitely a very good episode. It's not a bad episode by any means. It's not worse than the other one. It's just the other one has so much other shit going on in it that it's so entertaining. This is more, hey, back to plot, trying to get more into the story, more into the world of the story, and more into the characters of this, or at least giving you little hints as to more about these characters. But all in all, I would give this episode probably, I'd give it an 8 out of 10. Very good. Just not as good. But I'm so excited to see where this goes. But that's going to wrap this up. As I'm doing this, I've also got the summer of Nick Cage going on, where I got over 30 Nicolas Cage movies I'm going to be reviewing, so definitely stay tuned for that, and stay safe all. Bye.